Hi there, and welcome to my channel. And I'm Lynn Morris, and I hold a space called Crystal Star Ascension Family and Academy, where I inspire and guide and create pathways and quantum healing pathways of sovereignty and liberation for star seeds, way showers, and light workers. And today I want to do something a bit different. I want to talk about the divine masculine, and I want to actually pay homage and gratitude to the divine masculine. So, those amazing men on this planet right now that are standing up and being counted, and they are doing their shadow work, looking at their wounds, and having the courage and boldness and bravery and sensitivity to go and look at what is holding them back and what is sitting in their soul baggage, and what they're needing to do to heal their own family ancestral lines, which are running very heavy programs regarding the masculine energy on this planet and the patriarchal energy on this planet. I just want to say thank you. Thank you. We need you. The divine feminine needs you. We do. We need each other. And we stand together, unified, in bringing this planet back into its true vibration and frequency for New Earth. And if you think about what we've been through in the last so many thousands of years with the patriarchal rule on this planet and the almost needing to exterminate the goddess energy and the mother arc frequency on the planet, the matriarchal energy. It's like we go into pendulum swings. We go far left to the very powerful divine feminine, and that pendulum very high of the divine feminine leading, and the way very much in Lemuria, it was very matriarchal leadership, came from the divine feminine and the goddess, to an extreme pendulum swing to the male and the masculine, and almost like domination of the divine feminine and suppressing the divine feminine. And how I see this, right? Okay, there were people that disagree with me. I think I feel that really now we have to get into a reunification of the masculine and the feminine, so that we stand together in the middle of the pendulum. Yeah, we're not far left, far right. We're right in the middle, and we're a team, and we're in divine union, symbolically on the planet and individually, so that we take equal responsibility between us to create the new world. And of course, we need the divine feminine to do that, because we are the creators of with our wombs. But men are creators too. They're born from women and the cosmic womb. And men are creators too. And we have to do this between us in cooperation and in synergy for it to work. So when I do observe, as I do, uh, women's empowerment groups and goddess gatherings and high priestess retreats and weekends and da 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 da. The one thing I want to see is that they are in honor of the divine masculine as well, and that they are not on a mission to bash the masculine or to try and paint a picture that the masculine is inferior. They're not. And what we need more than ever now is mutual respect and love, and for us to hold space for the men to be able to start to heal the collective wounds of the divine masculine, of the masculine. The collective wounds of being shown that if you show your feelings and emotions, you're weak, that you're a coward, you're a Nancy boy, you're, all these are all old-fashioned terms I'm using probably. Maybe if you're a younger generation, what you think, what's she on about? What's a Nancy boy? But, you're a fairy, a Nancy boy, you are soft. Almost like taking the piss out of your divine feminine energy that lies within you. And that very much is the old programming, isn't it? The old mind control programming as well that has come onto this planet to make men disconnect from the inner divine feminine selves. And I'm very proud to have brought up two young men now. Well, one's in their early 30s, one's coming up into their late 20s now, that are more in touch with their feminine side and are awake and conscious, and are working on themselves, both of them, knowing that there is an ancestral line they have to heal on their father's side, and they are doing their best with what they've got right now and at the point of evolution and pathway. So I'm proud of that. And, hopefully that was the contribution of me waking up while they were still sort of, I don't know, early teenage years. Probably one was about 12, the other, maybe one was about 11 actually, and the other was about 13. So I was just about to get them in time. They were pretty good anyway, and I had always brought them up to respect, but also to feel that the masculine and feminine were equal, and they was brought up with a strong figure like myself, that respected that relationship, and hopefully, as I say, that reflects in them working now to heal on their father's side, which was a divorce from very early on when they were very, very young. I've gone into personal things though, but that's just an example of when young men are brought up with someone that is teaching them that it's okay to show your feelings, it's okay to cry, it's okay to say you need assistance. And I was very happy that both my sons were able to come to me when they were in trouble, when they were younger, when they were feeling depressed or whatever, and they could talk to me about that. And that's very, very important. And, the old-fashioned way of doing it is to tell a young man to shut up and put up with it, to not be soft. You're showing a weakness by saying that you, are in trouble. And just think of all the mental health problems that men have. And the suicide rate is far higher in young men than in women, because women have got other women to talk to, haven't we? And quite often, if we are feeling low, or a young woman is in trouble, she can go to her mother, or she can go and talk to a friend or whatever, and she's more likely to be able to share what's going on. Whereas a young man has more trouble with that, depending on his upbringing, what his parents are like, everything that comes with that. So I think it's very important that we support our men right now, especially who are awake, are, wanting to make a difference in this world right now with what's going on. They are doing their best to stand up and be counted, especially we know that things are going to get worse over the next few years. And I think men in general, need that sort of knowing that it's okay for them to show their feelings. Now, of course, there are a lot of damaged men about. There's a lot of damaged women about. So let's just be equal with that. There's a lot of damaged women about. What I mean damaged is, have got huge emotional wounds, and have got a lot of emotional problems, and a lot of maybe interference on a astral level with that as well. And men have got the same problems too. And there is actively programs running right now, like the sexual misery program, which is deliberately targeting men in particular to actually get them addicted to porn, to get them addicted to power, to sort of get them working from their lower chakras, their root and sacral, and not allowing them to come up through the solar plexus into the heart. And in fact, there's a deliberate attempt for everybody on the planet not to be able to connect from the solar plexus up to the heart center, because they don't want you in your heart. You know why? Because that's where your inner divine presence lies, in your God spark, in your pearl energy, in your higher heart, in your eighth chakra. So they are targeting this all the time. So, of course, there are like inaudible sound broadcasts going out all the time, talking about and incantating us that you can't hear on a physical level, but he's going in on a subliminal level. I don't know if you're aware of that, but that is going on for sure. And there are so many different ways that they're trying to target our young men and our young male children. I'm going to have to say there is a deliberate attempt to confuse the genders, so that young children and teenagers are being almost fast tracked and pushed into actually transitioning from male to female or female to male. And then when they actually get there, they change their mind after a few years, because they've gone through whatever that crisis was in their teenage years, and they come back to self and then realize that self is not female. They were always male in the beginning. And what they were trying to do is run away from maybe a traumatic childhood. I actually came across a YouTube channel the other month or so, and it was talking about uh, a guy and Sam, and he transitioned a number of years ago in his like 20 odd years ago, and he had female sort of facial surgery to look more female, and was good looking woman. And over a period of time, she suddenly started to realize that her core self was not female. Her core self was male. He was male, and that he'd just been hiding away from the male inner self, because the male inner self had been abused terribly as a child by other men. And it was almost like he was trying to escape from his masculinity and what that meant in his warped childhood, of what happened to him, of being attacked over and over again by men. You can imagine, can't you? So he wanted to go and be a female because he thought that would make it better, that he could just bury what had happened as a child away and turn into another sex, and it would all be cleared and sorted. But of course, he's realized that that wasn't going to happen, and that actually he's working on those inner child wounds right now to heal them, and has detransitioned back to a male. Of course, he's had major surgery, so that is something he has to live with now for the rest of his life, that he is sort of in between, shall we say. Hey, everybody's got their own journey, and this is not about me judging them. I'm talking about feeling incredibly empathy, having empathy for that person and what they've been through, and then to realize that they were just running away from who they truly were. So that's been fascinating for me to look into that a little bit, and look at how they were running away from their own masculinity, because it was so warped because of what they'd been raped and abused by men when they were very young as a little boy. He had no positive examples of men anywhere. They were brutal and terrible. And do you know what I'm saying? So I can imagine how the mind works to compensate with going extreme female. Um, so there's so many different examples, but we need more assistance for our young men, and we need more divine masculines to stand up and lead other men lead other young men and show them really what it is to be a divine masculine. And it is about, yeah, protection. And you're the hunter-gatherers. You go out and get the food. You go and make sure the perimeters and the boundaries around where your village is and home is safe. You give the energy of protection to the females in your life. And that's a fab thing. And, when it's done in the right, context, in the right balance, then that makes a great team. When you've got a female that acknowledges your strength of who you truly are, and what you want to, how you want to express yourself. And you understanding that a female wants that chat. She wants that talk. She wants to hear what you really think, not what you just say to shut her up. She needs to hear what you really think. And you have to acknowledge that she needs to hear that. She needs to talk things through. That's how females operate. And, there's not enough teaching about that, of the difference, men are from Mars and women are from Venus, like, the books that came out spectacularly, in the 80s or whatever, I can't remember. More needs to be done in regards to that. But as I say, I wanted really this to be just a thank you to all the male starseeds, light workers, way showers, that light the way, are not afraid to do their work, not afraid to talk about what they believe in, not afraid to talk to women about what they believe in. And they are embodying their divine feminine self as well, because it's all about balance. We have to integrate our divine feminine and divine masculine in total balance and integration. Like the female has to integrate her divine masculine. So then she's perfect balance. And very much from a women's point of view, if you've been abused, and been abused by women and men, but if you've been abused by men, you are going to have a divine masculine wound, a big one. And that you are going to be out of balance for sure. And in my own personal journey of healing, I have really experienced what it's like to start connecting to my own inner divine masculine self. And it's been a revelation and a very healing journey to actually be able to listen to my own divine masculine self, who wants me to have the boundaries, wants me to protect my space, wants me to speak up and be heard in the world. But I trust now that I can hold my own space. I can protect and have boundaries. I have respect for who I am and what I don't have to put up with from anyone or anything. And that divine masculine is in a powerful position right now with my divine feminine. He's there with a sword, but just holding my sovereignty, really, protecting me with the sovereignty, the sword of sovereignty, Excalibur. And that's how we should do it. And we hold and protect our space and our boundaries. And we are responsible for making sure our space, our sacred space, our land, which is us, is kept intact and is safe and held very powerfully. So, yeah, there's more to say about this, but I just wanted to just give a homage to all of the divine masculines in my life and to every divine masculine that I've met. And I've met so many recently. I met an amazing crowd of divine masculines at Shine seminars. I met an amazing crowd of divine masculines through my work, through being at the LA Conscious Expo, being, at some big fairs that I've done in the last couple of years. I've met some amazing men that have come and wanted to work with me, and that has been an honor and a pleasure to do that. At first, I used to deal a lot with the divine feminine and women from about 2017, 2016 to 2020. And then actually from the 2021 onwards, I started to work more with men again. And that's been such a lovely thing. And there's been more men that I've been working with in the last year or so. And I really enjoy that. And I'm just actually putting together a divine masculine healing pathway um, with for sovereignty as well. And I just think that that's amazing that I want to do that for the divine masculine. I want to give you what you need to release. And just, I'm throwing a few things out here just for you to think about, all right, as a divine masculine. Um, you know, some of the horrible contracts that you have been dragged into in other lifetimes, and the infiltration that has taken place off planet, that's come in from off planet, has been you know, horrible, and that has really severely affected the patriarchal lines and the divine masculine over the last few centuries, for sure, even longer. And you know, a few examples just so that you know what I'm talking about. um the Atlantis, where we had the Brotherhood of the Snake start to take over. We had the Brotherhood of the Rose, not only the Sisterhood of the Rose, but the Brotherhood of the Rose. And the Brotherhood of the Rose were tricked into turning against the Sister of the Rose. I don't know if you know that. That was from the Atlantean times of a covenant that was made, the Covenant of the Rose. And very much that was like we were hoodwinked into signing an agreement that was not for our highest good. Also, I just want to throw something out. I believe that we're way beyond any title now that we've ever had on the old timelines. A priestess, a priest, a high priest, a high priestess. We're beyond that now, aren't we? We don't need to use those titles anymore. Those titles are not New Earth. That's not Synergy. So I'm just thinking that, just think that actually you can rescind those titles. We always do it under grace. But just think if those titles are tying you up to old timelines where maybe you got embroiled in that. We've all been dark and light, females as well. We've been the dark sorceresses. I've been a dark sorceress. I know I have. So, you know, like, just think if you were to be able to release all of those contracts and covenants, that you were given a way of doing that, that would release you from any bindings and spells and restrictions on your energy field via your priest initiations or your high priest initiations, that you're able to release any bindings or bondings to the Brotherhood of the Snake or to the Brotherhood of the Rose, or to maybe, you know, just think of all the Nazi things that went on, and all of that energy of that timeline, and the contracts were made through the SS and through all of those. Being a German soldier, I've had experience of unraveling some of these German timelines actually in my work. They're still running now, those vows and oaths. So, you know, like all of those things can be rescinded, cleared, and cancelled. And I do believe that I've got in my inner knowing right now, talking as I am to you, hear a beep. Um, they There is definitely a lack of knowledge about that being given to the divine masculine. So I think that is something that I will definitely be working on in the next 6 months, is finishing that pathway, so that we have got one for the divine feminine so they can walk their pathway, and there's one especially for the divine masculine so that you can weed out those contracts. And because I know quite often where those contracts were formed on which timeline, I can point them out to you. So it's like a tick list. Like, have you rescinded this? Have you cleared this? Have you done this? And you can do all of these like contract breakers, which are game changing and life changing. As all of the clients that I work with come back and tell me, and what I've experienced when I've done them as well. So if you're feeling weighed down right now, I'm talking to you. If you need to hear this, okay, I'm talking to you now. And this is for you. This is a message for you. If you're feeling weighed down as a man right now, in realizing that you want to be that shining, masculine, divine masculine energy, you want to be that warrior and that knight as such, and you're struggling with emotional wounds from childhood. Maybe it's an ancestral cycle that's come down your father's line, which is really heavy. That will be weighing on your shoulders. And remember, we inherit the contracts from our ancestors. Yeah, that's part of the karma, especially blood satanic contracts or blood sacrifices or blood contracts. We definitely inherit them, and they have to be cleared. And you're very capable of doing that, and you're very capable of clearing all of this off your shoulders and rising up. And the divine feminine will celebrate you and say thank you for being that example of the divine masculine. So there you go. Just wanted to I feel quite emotional talking to you. It's really interesting. That's just come up. um, but it's we need you. We appreciate you. And um we do need you. It's a it's a a double job. Both of us, the feminine and the masculine, need to come together to build new earth. It's not going to be all women, and women can guide, and we can be channels for the divine and Mother, Father, God, and Source, and the cosmic divine mother, and I am a channel for all of that. But I channel my I am presence, because that's, you know, that is who I am here, is an emanation of the divine feminine in human form. Um, and I'm here to Weisho. But of course, my soul is masculine and feminine, and I have had masculine lives. I know I have. I've got recall of an odd one. So, as I say, you're needed. You're needed, and we appreciate you, and we do. And if you don't feel appreciated with the spiritual people you hang around with, or feel that, there's a bit of an uneven energy about, then change tribes. Go and ask for your true soul family and tribe to come, and you will find them. And I think more and more we're going to find each other's soul families as the next few years start to get very difficult, but only because we're seeing the collapse of the 3D timeline, and we're going into we're in the bifurcation of the timelines anyway, but the collapse of the 3D timeline is well underway now. And this is where we need to get ourselves anchored and in our power for what is coming. And we don't need to be in fear of that. We need to be in our power and in our heart spaces. And I was talking about that in another video that I've done today, actually, which will be if you look it up, about the collapse of the 3D timeline. And we need to be listening to our inner knowing and inner selves. And if you haven't got that dialogue going, then start working on it. And that is with clearing the wounds, claiming divine self sovereignty, getting yourself cleaned up, and practicing speaking to your I am presence and going within the heart space. That's where your answers lie. and your inner knowing, which will tell you where you need to be, what you need to do, and what action you need to take. And of course, the masculine is all about action, taking action. And you know, when you're in the testosterone flow and you don't think, you act first. That is the testosterone, isn't it? And that is the masculine sort of taking action. Like if you saw someone coming towards you, or your wife or your partner, who looked threatening, you'd get up immediately or stand between them, wouldn't you? You'd want to protect them. And that is a very noble and beautiful thing. And very much women are coming into their own power so they can protect themselves. And that's not a bad thing, because there's been too many disempowered women, and suppression of the divine feminine spirit and energy and flow. So we all need that. But as I say, it's getting it into balance, which is vital for each one of us, that we have our inner masculine and our inner feminine balanced. But as again, I'm just going to wrap it up now and say thank you so much for being who you are. We are very grateful that you are walking this journey with us. And we're very grateful that you are doing what you can to heal what you need to heal. And you will be an example for the younger generation. Even if you're a young man now, just think, you know, when you bring your children up, how you're going to bring your sons up, and how they're going to be able to know that they can cry, they can show their feelings, they can express themselves any way they want. They're allowed to cry, they're allowed to reveal what they're really thinking, and they don't have to fit into typical stereotype male roles either, or archetypes. They can be who they want to be and express themselves how they want to be. If they want to have long hair down to their ankles, they can. If they want to, I don't know, play with dolls, they can. It doesn't matter. As long as they're getting that really great balance and flow, they will come back into knowing who they truly are within their core self. They will know, and they will have respect for their core self, and their true energy and self. So thank you so much for listening, and I'm sending you my love. And if you are in trouble as a masculine right now, or struggling, then please reach out to someone you feel you can do to talk about your feelings. And I always would have amazing space to hold for a man that would want to talk about his feelings, because it's very difficult, I'm sure, for you to do that if you've been brought up not allowing to share who you truly were, or what you went through, or how you feel about yourself. But you know, it's great to share. And if you could get a group of men together to have men's sharing circles, where you're able to talk about your feelings with each other, and you know, you validate each other really, and you are allowed then to come out with what you are really worried about, or what you really, you know, are trying to share. And maybe I'll do more work with the divine masculine now. I would very much like to, and I feel I have something to contribute to this. So I'm sending you my love. And if you could subscribe to the channel, I really would appreciate it. And if you feel this video is going to help another male friend or a man, please share. But know that you are not alone, and the divine feminine love and support you and truly appreciate you. We do, we do. And when I see divine masculine shining, it's amazing. It's such a lovely, wonderful thing to see. It really is. So keep shining, keep shining, keep going. We're walking new earth together as a team, male and female together, holding hands. No matter whether you're a partner or not, we are holding hands. We are walking new earth together. And it's about getting rid of all of these old constructs of what a male and a female should be, getting rid of the old archetypes that have been put in on purpose to actually separate us and divide us. And it's about forming a new relationship between the divine feminine and the divine masculine, which very much will build these new healing communities and will build new earth. And I'm so looking forward to seeing that and witnessing that and taking part in that, hopefully. So lots of love, take care, and see you soon.